Today's podcast is all about my frustration with people of once they understand what it will take to succeed, of not pulling the trigger. And even when they do pull the trigger, they abandon it halfway in between. And it's like, hey, you made the decision to go down this road. Go do whatever it takes to be successful. Whether that's a mentor, that employee, the new piece of equipment that it takes, like what is that thing that's going to help you get to the next level? Go do it.
Welcome to the Premium Mindset, the weekly podcast where homegrown entrepreneurs and business owners, Evan Ritchie and Cameron Bodden, share the good, the bad, and the ugly of modern entrepreneurship and reveal what really happens behind the scenes of their personal and professional lives. As owners of two of America's fastest growing and most disruptive companies, Coconut Cleaning and Green Mango Pest Control. Stay tuned for real stories, struggles, insight, and advice from real entrepreneurs in real time.
This podcast, I want to talk about the opportunities that a lot of people have that they don't take because of money, because of the constraint of money. And one of the things that's frustrating for me as I'm trying to grow Hype Farm is that I've made the 1% club so cheap that it's like, dude, it's roughly about $4,000 a year. Yep. Like you're telling me that you can't come get $4,000 worth of value out of this club. Yep. And then I look at some employees. We can go talk about Tanner. We can go talk about like this marketing team. So we have this opportunity, right, with franchisees that they're going to be we're going to sell 80 locations in the next 3 to 5 years, right? They're going to want to have a door program at some point. If we've built an army of 30 to 50, if not more, door knockers, and we're just kind of on standby to say, hey, anytime you need our door team to come out, like this is the margin. When we haven't even done the numbers yet, but I would assume the business model, like here's where I've gotten in trouble in the past. It's like, oh, Grit's made it work, so I'm sure it works. Like I'm going to go do my due diligence to make sure that the margins work, but I'd be surprised if they don't once I dive into it, right? So let's just assume the margins are there. Not only are we going to benefit from the override that we get sending our guys into that market, right? But we also own a percentage of that franchise. So it's even better than what Grit's doing. Yep. And so whatever money Grit's making on these guys or having this team, we're going to go, it's probably going to, I want James to do a model as fast as he can to show us like how much money there truly is if we just modeled off of 80 locations, helping them get another 2,000 accounts within the first 2 years, like what that means to us. Yep. Let's say it's like, what do you think that is? You know coconut numbers better than me. 80 locations, do the math really quick. 80 locations, 2,000 accounts. We said 5,200 accounts on another one was $10 million. So that means we're roughly around 5 million, probably 4 million in revenue for them if we went on and put on 1,500 accounts, call it 2,000 accounts per branch. You follow me right now?
No, because if you did,
you said the contract is. Let's just start with one. So Texas calls us tomorrow and says, "Hey, I want you guys to add 1,500 accounts to our branch." Okay.
Yep.
19 times 1,900 because you said that's the contract value. What is Grit making on over? Like, what's a fair? Hey, these guys are making 60%. We're going to charge the company 80%. Like what, like, do you know the spread there yet?
I heard at Door to Door Con that like Grit as the organization makes between, depending on the rep, some they take more of 5 to 15% on top of what their reps are making.
Okay. So 5 to 15%. So we're going to bring them $2.8 million.
Yep.
So 1,500 accounts, 1,900 contract value, another 28. So for every branch, $280,000 a year that we help them put on. For 15,000 accounts, how many guys is that? If the average rep does 3 to 4 a day, in a summer, 2,000, like set 14 dudes, we call it. Right? We're kind of riffing here, but no, do it. What is it? 7? Yeah, 7. You're saying 200. It's 1,400 accounts.
Yep.
So 7 dudes. Why do you keep making that face?
Because when I talked to that cleaning dude, he's like, there's no reason why your door-to-door guys can't do 8
accounts a day.
8 accounts a day. He's like, I was selling 8 full year made contracts.
Okay. Best case scenario, which is not going to happen. Not all 80 locations are going to take that many dudes.
Yep.
Right. But let's say 40 of them a year ask for 1,500 accounts, 280 times 40. Are you guys following me right now? This is over your head. How much money is that to us?
$11 million.
$11 million in overrides. Yep. Okay. That's one thing. And then that 11 million, we make an additional 6% on. So 11 million, 1.1,
$670,000.
670 grand. So
just on that upfront revenue. That's crazy. I just had an experience with franchisees because Cameron and I are still building a national company. And I was able to illustrate to them how important it is to stay on top of their leads, that before they pass it off to a family member, that they need to have the SOPs that we already have. So it's clear, the stats are out there. Franchising is an accelerator for you to not only start a business, but to be able to grow at a pace that just starting a regular company, you just can't do. So if you're interested in franchising with us at Coconut Cleaning and you want to jump into a system that's ready to go, click the link below and we'd love to talk to you soon.
So what I'm saying is, why aren't you starting at Grit? We'll call it Grit.
Don't do this, dude.
If there's an opportunity with our own clients to go get $11 million in overrides through companies that we have to help grow.
And let's flip it too, because it's also $11 million. No, sorry. For them, it was, how much was the revenue for them? It was $2.8 million for the franchisee. So it might seem like it might seem like we're focusing on us, but we're creating $2.8 million in revenue for them at the current 70% retention rate of coconut clubs. Like they're going to have
280 guys. That's a lot. Is it though?
No, Aptiv has 5,000 guys.
Is it though? That's what I'm saying, bro. So here's the thing. Why aren't you willing to go spend $4-5 million to go bring on a company like that?
I mean, now I'm down. Just got to find it. HSA.
The reason why you wouldn't, right, is because you don't believe in it of all happening down. So here's the thing, okay? Don't roll your eyes on me one more time. I'm gonna slap you with this mic. This is more of a vlog than a podcast. Let's be honest, man.
Let's be honest here.
So, I'm frustrated right now.
Okay.
It's kind of a strong word, but I'm pissed because I see that every time someone comes and consults with me, they pay me $100,000 a year right now. I'm providing at least $500,000 in value.
Yes.
No, like I'm telling you that. You don't know that. I'm telling you that.
I'm accepting the information. I believe it.
Every time this guy hands me $100,000, I hand him 500. How many times are you going to do that?
As many times over.
No, but that's what I'm saying. And it's the same thing with employees. It's the same thing with, like whatever, like if that truck costs you $50,000, you're like, dang, dude, that truck sucks, $50,000. And it's going to go make you $300,000. Why aren't you going to go buy that? Why aren't you going to go invest in the thing? So this weekend we have Tell Me Where to Chip.
Yeah.
Originally, everyone was like, hey, how much do you want to charge? Everyone charges $2,500. I'm like, I know I'm going to go provide at least 10 times the value. We need to charge $5,000 and we're going to provide at least $50,000 in value to them in savings because I'm confident with the knowledge that we're going to share with them, we're going to help them save at least 10% on their business.
But I also think in addition to that, it was the amount of people we saw charging people $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 that we look at the content of what they're providing, or they tell us behind closed doors, like, dude, I just make a sick event for them and hopefully they just catch fire and find their own purpose at my event, but they don't leave with like actionable things for their business. It's like almost like a rah-rah thing. So
well, at the Brandon Dawson event that I spoke to on Friday, he's got 400 people in the room.
Jeez.
There's one person up front that was there attending that paid Brandon $1 million to go through his program. $1 million. Does that sound like a lot of money?
Here we go.
It is a lot of money. And at first,
but
even
if
on
he
this,
makes $30 million.
No. Here's my thing. Here's my freaking thing. Okay, you guys all think I'm crazy right now, going on a rant, which I am.
This, by the way,
I thought when I was sitting on stage, I was like, "Dang, dude, $1 million, $1 million." He believes in him.
You're holding out your Venmo thing, like
I'm like, "Hey, here you go." So here's a real life story. I just got, and this happened this morning, and this is where I'm like really passionate about it. So Dominic, he owns a pool company. Yeah. He's one of your dream clients. He's not the guy that just takes the information, doesn't do nothing with it. Like he goes and does it. Yeah. So here's what happened that was cool is that, and I'll do the numbers rough here, but last week I've been stuck on this gross profit margin like theory of business because of this. And like when I told you the first thing that he asked me about Coconut was the gross profit margin. And I think a guy that's built the company the way that he has, of all questions that he could have asked, like he asked that first. And I just find that intriguing, whether it was on purpose or like whatever, you know, maybe I'm pulling an Evan and I'm reading too much into it. But like I've been going down this path. Okay. So I was talking to Dominic and he's been consulting for about 8 months now. Okay. If you're listening to this podcast right now and you're loving what we're talking about, but you're still confused of where to go and how to accomplish it, that's exactly why we started the 1% Club. We go through playbooks that teach you exactly how to do it and when to do it. And so I want you to click the link below that talks about the 1% Club and want you to join with us. We identified that he was around a 51% gross profit margin. 51%. Because he's constrained on how expensive all of his stuff is. It's kind of like the similar like glass, right? The pool pumps are $3,200. The market is only charging $3,300. He's on the high side of $3,500 and he's still at 51. And so last week, you know, we went through all the ways to improve gross profit margins. But the one thing that I said, look, bro, you don't have a business that you can scale. Like you need to be above that 70% on gross profit margins, even to start wanting to scale. So how are you going to do it? And, you know, I'm summarizing an hour call, but one of the things was, hey, you need to go look at your pricing. You need to go renegotiate with your vendors. And I gave him like 5 different things to go focus on. We get on the call today and he blew me. He did not only that, but he went above and beyond. He coded this, he took all of his expenses within his company. So like all the pumps, all the chemicals, all the tabs, all the filters, like everything that he does, right? And he coded this formula to where he could see which ones he was at a 43, 67, 80, you know, and blended it. He went and negotiated rates with his vendor and he's already increased it, okay, by 10% just in the past week.
Which is straight to the bottom.
And I said, bro, you do about $2.8 million, $2.5 million in revenue. Like, what does this mean to you on a monthly basis? And he's like, I will save $20,000 a month by just doing what you told me to in one call. And that's where I'm just like, dude, like people are missing it. People are looking at the 1% Club and saying, it's $299 a month. Am I giving it enough value? It's probably because you're not putting any effort into it. Everyone wants the get rich quick. Everyone wants the answers right away. It's the people that go dive in, go negotiate, go take that roadblock and figure it out as a detour. But here's what's crazy, right? And so when you think of $20,000 a month, okay, and you get, let's say he gets what do you think a pool company goes for on a multiple right now?
1.5, 2. Well, they're ARR, so 5 to 7.
Yeah, so a good one. So if you go take that 20 grand, just that 20 grand alone.
Oh, the enterprise value.
The enterprise value is insane. Like,
so that's over $1.5 million.
Just in that one phone call. And so that's where I get frustrated with people and why I was so proud of you to go into the events. Like, hey, it was how much originally, if we flew out there, it was 10 grand, but you spent 10, like 7 grand to go out there. If you don't get at least $7,000 out of it, whose fault is it?
I told them we need $21,000 in the next 30 days from this event of revenue that didn't exist prior to this event. We need to do $21,000 more dollars.
And this is how I wish that everyone would look at an investment. So if you've identified the thing that you want to get better at, which our thing is, hey, if you own a company, like we can help you get better for $299 a month. You saw this 7 grand and you said, this is what we need to get in order for it to make it worth it. It's going to be 21,000. So the only person that's going to laugh at the end is Sam Taggart if you don't get $21,000 worth of value.
Yep. In the next 30 days. Like that's like, I wanted to, so what I told them is I said, look, this is at Coconut. We have our expenses dialed. And Cole they asked me this yesterday. They said, why is your card limited? Like I have my expenses and then my card is set to that expense. Everyone else has the same. All of our expenses are set. Our projected revenue is set. The amount that we're going to pay are fixed, everything, right? And so when you add an extra $5,000, $7,000, $8,000 in an expense, the natural, if you go to your playbook on, having people produce about 2.5 to 3.5 times, it's like, this is a $7,000 expense. It would be no different if I hired a videographer for $7,000 this month to shoot a project. I would want the return to be 2.5 to 3.5 times what we just paid. And so I told them, I said, look, this is what we're projected for this month. Here is 3 different ways that we could get that $21,000. And they were all like, okay, we're in. And I'll probably report next week, but I think as of today, like, we closed a deal that is a little north of $21,000. So let me just back you up there for a second. I didn't know about Dom, and I've met him a few times. And the one time where I was like, he wanted to ask about the competitions, and we were in my office for like 45 minutes. Dude, it wasn't even like clarifying questions after. Within 2 days, he's like, here's the tartan cup.
Yeah.
Here's this, here's the format, here's that. Thank you. I'm like, that is cool. And I think what I hear from you sharing all that is you're pouring into the 1%. You're sharing not only the wins of, what you've accomplished, but also what we're doing here at Coconut. And then now you have a force multiplier of what's it called? Of validation now in the 1%, where people are listening, acting, and you're seeing that return. And so I think it's one of those frustrations that you get as a leader, where you see people's opportunity and potential, and that it just takes those little show me where to chip principles and a little bit of guidance, and they could get there a whole lot faster. Because that's what I'm always teaching here, is that you guys might be good from last year. You might be good with that income. However, every time that, another Christmas comes around or birthday comes around and you find yourself in that spot wishing you would have just gone harder, that's what, one, you've always been saying to me, and what I hear you saying in the 1% is just, it is that simple. It's just this principle connected with these, and then a whole lot of work, and you can have everything that you want.
Yeah, man. I want people to double down on opportunities, and that's not even like, I'm attached to the 1% club right now because that's my product offering that I have, right? And it doesn't make sense why people aren't in it. But also when I see people have opportunities to hire A players and they don't pull the trigger on hiring them because, oh, it's $150,000. Well, is he or is he not going to go help your organization make $1 million?
Yep.
And if he is, what stops you from there? It's just being scared.
Yep.